Hello, good afternoon. My name is Bede Ihintuge Eke. I am an expert on geopolitics and the global economy. I have studied a course that has opened my eyes to understand how things work globally, and I would like to share with you. My topic is very simple, straightforward. Does the way your government leads your people okay for you? Are you happy with your government? What kind of governance is being applied in your government and your country? Are you doing democracy? Are you on communism? Are you doing monarchy in your country? What are you actually doing? What's your country doing? What do you call it? What model of governance? What form of governance? What system of governance? See, sometimes we mix up all of these words and we don't know which is which anymore. Where does capitalism fall in? Where does socialism fall in? Fascism. These are words that are being used to associate ways of governance. And I can tell you that if you miss the right formula for your society, and the kind of society you have found, it goes bad. It goes very, very bad. And everything will go negatively. Counterproductivity in countries, underdevelopment, and bad governance has actually contributed in a very deep way, has contributed to how resources of governments or resources of countries are being managed. And it's appalling that when a country sees that what they are doing is not right for the country, when the system of governance or model, whatever you're doing, is not good for you and your country is not working and you still remain there, you don't want to change. That's when it becomes an issue. This has happened in many countries all over the world. I'm here to actually talk about how we can actually make a change, transition from one model of governance to the other, from one system to the other, from one form of government to the other. In order to be able to identify the right one that suits your government or your country. It's usually a very difficult situation when countries are running the wrong concept of governance. This is obvious in many African countries. Many African countries, of course, inherited democracy from Britain and the United States. But does it work for them? Is it what gives them the kind of development they look forward to? And the answer is no. There are reasons around all of this. And those reasons are very obvious indeed. A country like Nigeria, for instance, where I come from, is made up of people of multi-diversities, people from different originalities, different races, people from a completely different set of people mixed up together as a country to form a country. And the issue of diversity is very crucial in any development that has to do with country management, anything that has to do with country management. Diversity has to be harmonized in any case. In the United States today, we have diversities of people from different parts of the world, but there is some sort of correlation. There is something that they share in common. Majorly, language is commonly shared as in a uniform manner. Everybody kind of speaks English in the United States. And that brings the people together, some sort. Unlike in Nigeria, comparatively, Nigerians have over 300 languages, or 250 languages, and over 300 ethnic communities. And this is very deep and very challenging for anybody to manage. So if you don't use the right concept to manage the people, you'll always get it wrong. If you don't use the right formula to manage people, you'll always get it wrong. In Europe, I would have to go historically to the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire it destroyed itself. It was led by Rome, and almost the whole of current Europe, both Western and Eastern Europe, we are members of the Roman Empire. And that empire, after it was separated from each other, the countries went on their own after the Balkanization. England remained basically people from who speak English, and then Italians, majorly people who speak Italian language. French, same thing, majorly people who speak French. So it's the language connected most of these people to become one people in each case. Most of these Europeans to become one people in each case. So they had factors of commonly shared values in terms of language and culture. And today, they practice democracy. Most of these countries in Europe practice democracy, as well as America. And it's actually kind of working for them in Europe, because they are one people and they can, live in harmony with ease without much struggle. But in Nigeria, in Africa, in Cameroon, in Senegal, in Sierra Leone, in Ghana, most of the African countries are made up of people from different ethnicities. And democracy is foisted on them. In fact, they inherited it, and it appears to be like the religion of governance, the religion of leadership in Africa. But Africans did not consider the fact that they are not one people in each case, unlike Europeans that are one people in each case, in most of the cases, except for a few countries like Switzerland, countries like Belgium, and those countries who are like that deepened their own way of governance to make it easier in order to accommodate each other. This is what African countries have not done. Switzerland, for instance, has cantons that take power at the presidency, I think after 2 years. Power moves to a different canton. And these cantons are of different ethnicities, some sort, some level. And it's actually working for them. So, but in Africa, what happens there? They kill themselves. In many other countries, they kill themselves. There are some other countries, like India has multiplicity of ethnicities, but they see everyone sees oneself as Indian first before any ethnicity. Even China has various languages that they speak in China, yet they kind of some sort are connected. China is actually practicing communism. India is practicing democracy, but Indians seem to be a very unique set of people because they have a kind of cultural value and heritage they preserve. You see, they didn't copy everything from England. They still kept their dressing, they kept their language, majorly. They kept their food, they kept their religion. Indians are very deep set of people that are highly connected with themselves. This is not what happens in Africa. Africans are disconnected from value systems, commonly shared value systems in their various countries. So now it is pertinent that Africans think about this and then find a way to navigate this whole thing. Africa has to find a way to remove itself from this whole shenanigan, because it appears like Africa does not seem to be pushing forward for its own survival. Africa seems to be controlled from somewhere. You know, the puppeteer and the puppets aligning with each other against the masses, the critical masses in Africa. So this is a situation that has to be administered fully. And how does this happen? Beyond all of this, ethics is the mother and father of everything. Ethics. Without ethics, we cannot manage anything. We cannot manage ourselves as individuals, even in the homes. Without ethics, one cannot manage any society, manage any sector, or anything that you are doing. Even if you are practicing democracy in the right place or communism in the right place, there's no ethics. If ethics is not considered as primary guiding principle, or what has to be the conducts, the right conducts associated with various ethical values coming into play, then the people will be misled. Things will go wrong, definitely. Things will not be as expected, because you have to get it right into the right, the jigsaw. You have to put the right buttons, you have to click on the right buttons. So ethics helps you to click on the right buttons that can enable a society to grow, that can enable the right thinking leaders of the society to deliver good governance, inclusive governance, so that the people can live harmoniously and coexist, to prosper on co-benefit factors. And today I am introducing this whole topic this way, but I have something at the end of the day to offer. In the long run, we'll be going on trainings, we'll have so many videos to watch. I have to do some PowerPoint presentations, and I would like you to join me in the PowerPoint presentations that will show us a fresh governance methodology that can be suitable for any country that has multiplicity of diversities. It can be America, it can even be a European country, it can even be India, China. This is something new and something quite intriguing for the world to learn. it has taken me a very long time to embark on this, to have, come at this point to say this, because it's been for ages, cooking like in the hot pots, been boiling this whole thing from time immemorial, since the year 2000, at the outbreak of the 21st century. I got this vision to embark on this journey, the journey to see how we can find an alternative for communism, alternative for monarchy, alternative for democracy, or something that can work with them, that can work with democracy, that can work with communism, that can work with monarchy, that can work with any kind of government, and a governance system or model or form of governance, whatever you call it, methodology, different languages. But at the end of the day, we will appreciate something unique that can be used to administer the management of diversities and population. And I call it I code. I for inclusive, C for codes, O for of, inclusive codes of development equation, I code. I also baptized it the African operating system. African operating system in the sense that it's coming from an African, it's born and bred in Africa, and this is something Africa also has to showcase to the world. Africa has been taking concepts from different parts of the world in the recent centuries. And once again, Africa has something to offer to the world. The African Operating System, I-Code, a methodology for digital age civilization for the management of diversities and population. So follow my channel as we flow. Many countries in Africa are in turmoil now. Nigeria is boiling as we speak. Kenya started the journey of change, projections by protest. Uganda is doing theirs. And it seems to be like a wind that is blowing like the Arab Spring. Remember the Arab Spring some time ago that happened in Africa? The wind is blowing again, and we really don't know where this is heading to. In the early 2020s to about 2023, 24, we've had events in West Africa, the French-speaking countries in West Africa. Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have taken a strong decision to become independent from their colonial masters. They don't want the neo-colonists again to operate in their location. They prefer to be on their own and to partner with whomever they wish to partner with. But it's still quite unfortunate that the French countries, those French countries are seeking for extra help. When they are being intimidated by France or the United States, they call Russia. That's what's going on now, looking for protection, looking for the right partnership. And there's this competitiveness going on in the world, between the G7, G20, the Russia, China, India connection, South Africa. That connection there is another thing that is revolutionizing the world. Russia, China, India, South Africa, they are playing a strong role in the diversification of the global power, the power of the world that has been dominated by the United States and Britain, the G5, G7, sometimes they say G8, sometimes G20. But I know China, Russia, India, South Africa, these are blocks of power that are determined to ensure that there is a balance in the global power sharing equation. And this is a very big, huge politics, big and huge at the same time, politics going on in the world today. And we have to be alert, see what's going on in the Middle East. A lot is going on in the Middle East. Middle East is a concentrated place for global politics. It's a center of concentration. And what are the problems? Still links to the same diversity mismanagement issue of diversity mismanagement. Now, let's underpin that. Diversities in terms of religion, diversities in terms of tribes, race, ethnicity, even diversity in terms of gender sometimes could be a problem. Class factors, geography, language. Those forms of diversities are divisive diversities. They separate us. They make us get divided and separated from one another as a people. So we have chunks of irredentist locations that has boundaries. But I have been able to derive a meaning from diversity management that can grow our economy. The diversities in terms of the sectors, diversities in terms of industry, profession, industry and profession, or occupation and profession as well. So you can take it in any way. It's all about economy this time around. When we get connected on the basis of economic growth, we build development tribes, we build development towns, we build development cities, clusters and parks of development in terms of economy. And of course, if we align based on economy, we can go beyond boundaries, because the economic dimension has commonly shared values among the people, because you don't bother who else, if it has to be someone from another tribe or religion that has to give you an injection in the hospital. It's not your problem. You don't ask for your tribesman when you go for a legal case, or you go for something very important to you. You want to go for the best. So you will not compromise. You will not cheat yourself to take someone who doesn't have the ability to give you the value you desire. Therefore, there is a connection that is so special, harmonious connection between people who share same demand and supply needs, or people who are connected based on demand and supply. If you need someone who has to cook for you in Nigeria, for instance, you start looking for someone from Calabar, the Cross River State. And because they are known for being very good chef, everybody in Nigeria prefers to hire them to become their chef. Traditionally, that's what's going on there. That's just an example. If you go to Europe, Europe has no such alignment. Europe is a place that has its own way of living, its own way of connection because they are one people. They do not in any way consider any form of divisiveness within their connection because they are one people already. It's a different picture. But in Nigeria, in Africa, the first thought when economy is not involved, when you are not pushing towards deriving the true value, what happens is tribalism sets in, ethnicity sets in. People go for those who are from their own inclinations when they want to favor someone, when they want to when they have positions of power that would not take away food from their own table, rather put food into their own table. That's what happens when someone thinks this man is from his place and if I give him a job, my people will praise me. In fact, I want to favor him as against the person who deserves that position. But when it comes to that same person going to the hospital for treatment, he would make the right choice, whether that person that is to treat him comes from his tribe or not. So these are some of the wrong choices that we make in a place that is connected on the basis of divisiveness. And this is exactly what happens with the structure of democracy in Africa. People are in chunks of their different geographical locations based on their shared values within themselves as chunks of people. So we are thinking in a bigger way that can benefit all and sundry. Division of labor. It will be like division of labor. Your location, your geographical location will be a platform for providing the support that everybody requires. No resource control. Everybody helps everybody. Every part of the country supports one another in order to achieve the length and breadth of our desires, collective desires, not state desires, not regional, not tribal desires. No, we go for collective desire, goal of the entire country. The same vision, but different missions, different objectives towards achieving the same goal. That's what we are going to do now. Just like you run your company. See how big companies like Microsoft, like Google, companies like Amazon, see how successful they are, like Coca-Cola. They are not connected. The working system does not align people on the basis of tribalism, on the basis of divisive factors. No, rather keen competitiveness for improved and increased productivity and services delivery is what they do when they departmentalized. The different compartments in a company of such corporate companies is for the purpose of synergy, creating synergy for increased productivity that affects every aspect of development in that industry. So this is the way to think about country management. Now follow me in my videos, follow me, and let's go. Let's change our countries. Let's make the right choices for our countries. Those who are into leadership, wake up. Wake up. Don't choose the wrong choice. Don't make the wrong choices in the development of your country, the concept that aligns with the concept that governs your country. When you make that mistake, that is the beginning of your failure. But then, at the same time, even before that takes place, ethics is the key component factor that is like the father and mother of everything. Thank you.